We're in the area of the split G3.
The split G3 buck.
And lately, split G3 has been showing up. The split G3 is coming back in here to bed. I'm hoping split G3 does the same exact thing. Or split G3 showed up yesterday morning. The split G3 dominating this area back here.
The split G3 didn't follow the script this morning.
The split G3 core territory. Caleb and I are continuing the quest for the split G3. Caleb! Split G3! Are you kidding me?
Realtree's Midwest Whitetail is brought to you by Cuddyback, Drake Non-Typical, Easton Arrows, Frigid Forage, Fuse, Grizzly Coolers, Hoyt, RK Tractors, Ozonics, Redneck Blinds, Wasp Archery, and Realtree.
All right, so it is about 2 o'clock on the afternoon of November 8th. Nick and I hunted this morning over the River Bluff property, and then we just moved over to the Pretty Boy property. This is an area I have not been before, but corn to our north, kind of a crummy bean field to our south, but there are just thick trails up and down here. And given that it's first week of November, we figured we're going to sit just all afternoon, hopefully catch something cruising this creek, just trying to wind check some of these bedding areas around here. So I'm going to shut up and sit down, and hopefully have some action here before too long. We did bump 2 little bucks on the way in. Seems prime for some midday action, so we're gonna sit and see what comes. It's a little after 3. We just had a little buck come in. I couldn't tell if it was a 6 or 7 pointer. Come in bed like 15 yards right behind us here. Hang out there for a little bit and then get up and walk back out. So that was pretty cool to see. It's nice. This is the second buck we've really seen today that's up on his feet, just kind of cruising, looking for calls. So it's good to see they're up, moving around still. Had a really good night overall. Ended up seeing 10 does, 4 different bucks. It was all between the bucks chasing and seeing those big old fatty does. I think John and I will probably come back in here tomorrow night, try and wrap a tag around one of those does, and then we know there's at least a couple. They're not in estrus yet. They're still running away from the bucks, but there's a couple of does that are at least smelling good enough that the little bucks are bothering them. So hopefully it's just a matter of a couple days before that doe comes fully in. Never saw any mature bucks tonight, but eventually something will get hot, and hopefully one of the big boys will show up and put a tag on him too.
Well, it's Friday, November 8th, and Caleb and I are continuing the quest for the split G3. Just got back in here and got set up, and still getting a few things set up here right now, but we're sitting back behind the pond, and there's hardly any wind. A south wind is blowing our scent over the pond. Yesterday we got 2 photos of the split G3, one down at the big oak tree, but one right here in the south tree planting behind me just to the east. We just decided that we're going to sit in here all day and just see what happens, see if he comes back in here. We've always been one step behind split G3, so gonna sit in here and just sit tight and see what happens all day. But really calm, really crisp, and really cold. Can't get much better than today, so we'll see what happens. Coming back. Split G3! Are you kidding me?
Perfect shot, man. Perfect shot.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We couldn't even get set up. And we're set up. We did get set up. I mean, is he down?
Oh, he's toast, man. He is toast.
That deer has worn us out, and we've been a step behind him every single time. Showed up about 12, 14 times on the camera on the other end of this tree planting. And then all of a sudden he showed up again. We saw him on the tree planting, didn't get him on footage, but we had an encounter with him 20 yards and he spotted us. And we gave it some rest. He showed back up 2 nights ago on this tree planting and down by the big oak tree. And we're like, we just got to get back in here and just sit all day with a south wind and let our scent blow over the pond. And he came in, I ranged that trail, and he looked up at me and then he put his head back down. I thought we were toast. And then I knew he was at 35 yards and I just kind of dropped below this limb a little bit. And it looked like a good shot on him anyway.
Well, he's dead, so.
I can't believe it. Oh man, I can't believe it.
Well, what a day. November 8th. Came in here specifically after a split G3 buck, and he showed up first deer we saw. Barely was even set up in the tree, and he came out of the south tree planting. Caleb and I have been getting photos of this deer for a couple years now, and he looked really, really good last year, and he showed up in the funnel last year a couple times. This year he showed back up, and we knew obviously he was a big deer, and he was going to be probably our top deer on the hit list. And Caleb and I were spending most of our time hunting this south tree planting, and got tons of photos of him in daylight, and so that really prompted us to hit up October really early and hunt him hard. We hunted in the snow to no avail, and the day before that he had shown up about 14, 16 times on trail camera in the daylight. Kind of disappeared for a little bit. I hunted next, and we hunted on the very south end of the south tree planting, and lo and behold, he showed up and walked about 20 yards from us, but ended up picking us off in the tree. After that, he disappeared for a couple days, and showed back up yesterday during the daylight. He actually showed up overnight, and then in the morning heading down to the spot just west of the tree planting, and then he showed up at the big oak tree last night, and so we just said we need to just go get into his core area and just settle down in his core area, and that's exactly what we did. He showed up, started heading south toward the corn. I grunted and bleated at him. He started walking away and actually turned around and came back, came through an opening in the fence and walked straight at us to about 35 yards. Caleb laid down some tremendous footage, and this deer was way bigger than I ever thought he would be, and put a 35-yard shot right through both lungs, and he didn't go about 70 yards, 60 yards, and tipped over, and Caleb and I were left in the tree celebrating. But glory be to God for such an awesome animal. We don't worship the creation, we worship the Creator. We give thanks to the Creator for such a magnificent animal, and give thanks to God for great friendships, just an opportunity to be a part of Midwest Whitetail with Outreach Outdoors. What a great story the split G3 is. I'm happy to introduce you to him today, and what a great time we've had so far this season. We're going to hop back in the tree and see if we can get Caleb on Big 6 or a couple surprise bucks that have shown up on camera here. We appreciate you tagging along with us. Thanks for following us, Outreach Outdoors on Midwest Whitetail. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and we'll see you back next week.
It is November 13th today, and to be honest, it feels more like a December hunt here, but I just checked cameras. I just had my cameras get sent over here to me, my pictures, and we had a decent buck here. Oh, that's a buck coming in. We're gonna get ready here. Walker, stand up. There's a buck.
Stop him whenever you have a shot, bud.
That was a really close call. We just had a little fork come in, and there might have been a 6-pointer, but it's November 13th today, and the snow's starting to come down, so it's feeling like a December more than November, like I was saying. But that buck came in and did right what we want to do. We're just about 10 yards too far. To be honest, we're just going to shoot anything that comes into range tonight, and hopefully we can get it done. This is Walker's first year with a bow. I think he's been out probably 4 or 5 times now, and we've come real close so far, so hopefully we can get it done tonight. Yeah, we've had a couple close calls. We had a little fork come in, and then we had a pretty decent 8-pointer, 2.5 or 3.5-year-old come in to 40 yards. And then we had a doe come in, and she kind of caught us off guard because we were looking at some other does, and she came in right towards the tree here, and she was at about, 5-6 yards here, and Walker tried to draw, but it's pretty hard to draw when they're that close. So she spooked, and she took off and went back in. But it's been fun so far, and we still have a lot of time left, so I'm expecting more to come out yet.
I'll stop him.
Burp. Well, just wanted to talk a little bit about what happened tonight with Walker and I. We had a really good hunt tonight. We saw 4 or 5 bucks and probably 10 does, and we were really close. And this is something Walker is learning. He's been out in the stand I think probably 5 times now, Walker, with the bow. And he feels really comfortable at home. He shoots really well at home. But it's just a different experience when you get into the stand. And tonight we had a fork come in at about 20-25 yards maybe, which is just a little bit outside of his range. And then we had a doe come in, and he tried to draw on her, and she was really close, and she caught him. And that doe was kind of weary of us, so that's something Walker is learning from on when to draw. And then when that buck came in, that 3.5-year-old, that really wide deer, Walker took a really quick shot, and I just explained to Walker, and that's something that you can learn from this experience is to take your time. Those deer are going to stand there. You're usually going to get a little bit of a time to make a good shot, and I think he learned from that. And also that deer was quartering towards us a little bit too, and I explained that situation and trying to let that deer quarter away, and and if it's not there, just be patient and let the deer walk around the tree, and hopefully we can get another shot at him. But so he's learning from it. It's a lot of fun out there, and I had to give him a little encouragement tonight after that, and we're going to try to get out there maybe again tomorrow and get after it again. But I just wanted to kind of explain what we're learning from it, and we're going to go on from here and not get discouraged, right, Walker? Mm-hmm. So thanks for watching Midwest Whitetail Outreach Outdoors.